Hi, everybody, and welcome to opening day of the Newburyport Documentary Film Festival 2020, the virtual edition. Obviously, we're doing this online for the first time, like everyone else, and like our friends at Raw Artworks in Lynn did this summer and are continuing to do with their arts programs for students in Lynn. We're thrilled to have you guys back again this year. For the last handful of years, we've had a student showcase from your filmmaking program, run by Rachel St. Pierre and Arturo Gonzalez Barrios, who are both with us. So welcome and thanks for being with us. We are happy to have you again this year, although we're doing it virtually. I've seen the films, they're really cool. Those of you who are tuning in have just saw them as well. So, and as I mentioned to the students a minute ago, if you have friends and family or anyone else who you'd like to let know about this program, it'll be available through our website at any point after this live screening. So let your friends and family know. Tell them to find it and check out these great students making art. So I'm going to go ahead and ask the students, for beginners, how did you find the Raw Artworks program? How were you introduced to it? And what made you want to join, and specifically to take part in the filmmaking program? Anybody jump in if you want to, and I will call on one of you if you want me to. Aaron, I'm looking at you, so you're gonna answer it first, okay, if you don't mind. What brought you to the program, and why filmmaking? Why were you excited about learning filmmaking through this program?
Well, I don't know how I officially found it, but I know my mother pointed me to this place because I know one of my friends went to this organization.
Yeah.
And so it's like I looked at classes and I saw filmmaking, so it's like why not take filmmaking? Because it seemed like an interesting thing to take.
And did it exceed your expectations, or were you you want to keep going? Do you want to keep making movies?
We'll see. I don't know. I don't know what to do yet because I don't really know what to do with it yet.
Yeah. Right. Okay. And Aiden, you want to answer the same question?
Sure. Around the time I was starting my sophomore year of high school, I was really starting to get into filmmaking. I was starting to write screenplays or screenplay because I had only done one at that point. But my mom was like, "Hey, there's this filmmaking thing in Lynn. Do you want to go to it?" And I was like, "Sure." And then everybody there was super cool and nice, and I didn't leave.
Arturo and Rachel, is everybody super cool and nice at Raw?
I guess so. Yeah, no, we are. We definitely cater around our students, and fun comes first, and then filmmaking's next. But fun, we gotta have the fun.
I also think it's great that it's we're all nerds. We're just super passionate about filmmaking. So that also that brings us together.
Yeah, totally. So just so I understand, or so people watching understand, Rachel, you run the program, and Arturo, you teach it. Is that safe to say?
That's true. Yeah, we're both co-teachers. I'm the manager of the program. Arturo came in, 3 years ago, and actually started an animation portion of our programming. So now we offer 2 animation courses that are completely analog and really fun. I mean, they're really jump into traditional animation. So
yeah, a lot of this stuff that we're seeing in this program are sort of the flip book stuff, or the learning how to draw towards animation, right?
Yeah, well, I think the focus of it is very the core essence of Raw is to have kids being seen and heard, and I think that's kind of where this I have a background in fine arts and experimental animation and stuff like that. So I think what really I try to do with my classes is to mix and match different art mediums that kids are already doing here. So I think that's the advantage of working here.
Right. So Raulis, you did the film that includes the stop motion Lego stuff, right? I think it's the last one in the program. So was that something you've done before, or was it something that Arturo or somebody at Raw kind of suggested to you, or you did it yourself?
I kind of just did it myself because I was just like, since everyone was kind of like quarantined in, I couldn't really be like, oh, come over for this, and that. So like, I
Right.
just didn't want to risk it. So I was like, oh, like, let me just like think of something like a makeshift idea. So I was just like, oh, I have like some Legos laying around because like I was emptying out my room and I just kept those.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was just like, oh, let me just like use whatever I have. So like I just took some random ones, like and just tried making a story out of those, pretty much. And that was like the basis.
And you've never done sort of stop motion before, is that right? That's what I'm gathering from what you're saying. You've never done.
Yeah, I haven't done
taken a
stop
bunch of
motion.
pictures? You have
I haven't
done.
done stop motion, but I've done like I've tried out animation and stuff from Arturo's classes.
Right. Cool. Okay. And Charlene, you did. Oh, is Charlene here? Yes. Charlene. Oh, there you are. Charlene, did you did the one about like being having the sniffles, right?
Yeah.
Oh, where did tell us about the idea for making your film?
It was, I guess, a superhero movie, but I wanted to make it as awkward as possible. So that's kind of like what I came up with.
Yeah.
And it was definitely awkward, so it succeeded.
So, I have teenagers. I have I have kids roughly your ages. We all know, those of us who are older or a lot older than you guys, that, your teen years can be awkward, right? Things are awkward. And things are certainly awkward right now with everybody doing this stuff, Zoom, and, trying to figure out how to do school and all of that. Making a movie with yourself in it is, it is kind of awkward, and you kind of just went for it, right? You're like, well, yeah, it's awkward, so I'm going to go for it. Is that kind of what the thinking was?
Yeah.
Right. Cool.
The name of the game this summer, James, was use what you have. Use your family, use your home, you as a location, use yourself. And I do think it's good prep for now these online Zoom courses and stuff. I mean, I'll say one thing. I don't think our students feel very self-conscious being on camera. Thank God. I mean, it's been a process, but that's one thing that I feel like we're all at least somewhat okay with.
Yeah. Well, obviously you've all grown up with phones since you were 8 or whatever, and you're used to taking pictures of yourself and videos for your friends and all that. So that in that way, that's absolutely true, right? Like, it's not that different to make a little film that includes yourself. And so use what you got, Aiden, that includes what, a stuffed animal that you had lying around your room, right?
Yeah. He made a big debut.
Do you think he has a future in acting?
He's in it for the art, so he's going to be very choosy about what his projects are.
Arturo, you tell me a little bit about the film. Did you make it with any of the students or by yourself? About your grandma and her yoga?
Oh, so no, I made that by myself. I think from when this pandemic really started, I just kind of like went into this like weird mindset where I just like was very restless and I just like needed to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an athletic person whatsoever, but like everyone, I think people have started becoming more conscious of their own bodies. So that's kind of like where the idea came from. I know that talking with my grandmother, I felt like a lot of her experiences of being like an old person that doesn't go out that much.
Mm-hmm.
And how she does exercise at home kind of like made me relate that to what's currently happening. And then I just sort of made it for myself, but it was trying to kind of like find my own grounding and then being able to kind of like relate that to an art activity that I did with my students. Charlene was in the animation group this summer. And we did something about we used that project that I did as like a jumping board to do exercise with students, and also how the mind and the body relate to each other creatively.
Yeah, and is that the frame? So you're talking about jumping off point to what, the frame by frame video that we saw, which is, I think, collaborative. I mean, a bunch of students contributed to that. Is that right?
Yeah, that's a compilation of the work we've made.
Did each of you guys on the camera right now all contribute to that one with some drawing or video, or no? Some of you,
I
different
don't
kids.
think we have animation kit students here. No, not today.
Right. Each of you made your own. Right. How many of you participated in the one drawing the light in? Was that also animation students?
That was our younger group animation, and they're not here either.
That was take one. That was not animation. That was yeah. They're like.
What was the answering the question? What makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Ochoro, you want to talk a little bit about that since you helped lead that?
Yeah, I think a lot of the that was like a younger group, and that was like a very interesting group because the younger groups usually they are more led by the by the teachers. Like it's like more led by the teachers. But that particular group, it was me and another co-teacher called Gladys, and we wanted to make kids like very self-reliant, and proficient with all of the like lighting and everything. So that was kind of that was one of those things where we're just trying to be like resourceful with the materials that we had.
Right.
The kids they recorded their lines. They they operated the camera. It's basically it's just like they were like drawing with a Sharpie on the other side of like a pane of glass.
Yeah.
So
I have to say, well, all the films work this way, I think, but that one, because it's so explicit about saying, it's actually asking the question, what makes me happy? I mean, I think people need a reason to think about what makes, kind of a reminder, like, things are weird and maybe not so fun sometimes right now, but there are definitely still hopefully things that make us all happy, and that was a really nice way to kind of, well, I guess Raul's film ends the program, but really it was nice to see that one in particular. So I'm gonna ask the students a little more about doing the program, about I think you each said, or those of you who I asked, well, yeah, I just figured I'd take it and see how it went. To what extent did you feel like you were just taking an art class to see how it went? And to what extent do you feel like, yeah, I definitely still want to make movies, or I definitely would like to continue trying this out and seeing how it works?
I mean, for me, at first, it was just like I just wanted to try it out just because I was like, oh, I like pictures and I like taking pictures, but there's no photography class, so film is, I guess, the closest thing to it. And I tried it, but after that, I kind of started liking film more than photography. And I don't think it's something that I want to do like professionally, but I still do want to make like short films throughout my life, which is something I never thought I would be doing, but Raw kind of took that out of me.
Right. Anybody else want to answer that?
Raul, you want to jump in? Go for it.
Yeah, I'll jump in. So the way I started at Raw is like I was kind of like taking some summer courses here and there, like from the 6th grade. And then once I got up to like high school, that's when I like took on like a full-on Raw course. And then I got into the film school pretty much, which at first I was kind of hesitant about it because I'm usually like, that's how I am with like most things. And then I got into it later on when my mom was like, come on, just like keep trying it. And then I got into it more. Then from what I got from that, like I started just like building more of my art skills and like starting to like get more into it pretty much. And like I would like try out different art methods. Like I would try out more drawing, painting, and stuff like that, which I didn't really see myself into. Like I was kind of just like, oh, I don't know what I want to do pretty much.
Right.
And then from that, I would pretty much like go with my friend Jacob, who's also a part of the raw
Community.
class I was a
sure,
part
yeah.
of. And then he helped me just like see like, oh, like how like concerts and stuff would be if you were doing the photography part of that and just the media. So I started like enjoying that and just like going to shows and just hanging out with artists and just like communicating with each other about like what they wanted, what I wanted, pretty much from like the
Mhm.
whole projects and stuff. So I enjoyed that.
And
Yeah.
now this is
Yeah.
something that Raleigh is considering professionally and going to school for, right, Raleigh?
Yeah, just like trying to like build up like a media business or something like that.
Awesome. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Very cool. Is Jeremy there?
I'm not quite sure. I texted him, but
Yeah, okay. Well, if he comes in before, oh, I think he's trying to sign in.
He's not available right now. We're waiting for him to get back from work.
okay.
Okay. Thanks, Dad, I assume. So let's ask that same question of Aaron and then Aiden. Aaron, you want to talk about? I think you already did answer this, didn't you? You sort of said, "Well, we'll see." What did you get out of the program this summer, other than this video that you made? Did you feel like it was a nice opportunity to learn something about yourself that you might not have otherwise been thinking about, or what?
Well, going into it like with like starting off with photography, because I did photography, but going into it like learning film,
Mm.
I started getting like interested in like lighting techniques and other stuff, and like what else could I learn, and like editing
Hmm.
and like other stuff. Then I definitely started going into the whole film thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I'm going to lean into film, but I definitely might do it more in the future.
Yeah.
It's
Film in
definitely.
particular I'm sorry. This film in particular was Aaron's first short that he's ever directed and produced on his own. So
Yeah,
that's
so
big.
I mean, even if you don't, some of you might want to, like Raleigh might go into some kind of a design or art career or whatever. He might have figured that out from this program. But even if you don't, you're learning something else about life skills or learning something else about yourself. I'm sure you guys tell this to the students all the time, right? It's kind of the idea of the program, right?
You gotta wear a
So,
lot of hats with filmmaking.
Yeah, exactly, right. So, Aiden, you want to answer that question? Then I think Jeremy might be popping in for maybe the last, he'll get the last word maybe if he gets in.
Do you want me to talk about like the experience of like the 1 week thing we just did? Or
it sounded like you in particular were already interested in filmmaking and screenwriting and all of that.
Yeah.
So for you, it was just kind of like, honing the skill a little bit, right?
This has definitely helped me like in a way funnel what I'm good at, but also help me get better at everything else. But like in terms of screenwriting, Edwin, the other teacher at Reel to Reel, he helped me write a feature about a year ago at this point, and I'm still really hoping I can make it someday. The obvious event killer kind of ended any plans to shoot it, but we'll get there.
Right. All right. I think we can wrap up now. Jeremy, just know that your avatar looks great, and your film looks great. So thanks for attempting to join. I hope work went okay for you today. Everybody else, thanks for being here. Tell your friends and family to check it out. And thanks for being you guys. And we look forward to having you back next year.
Thank you so much, James.
Thank you.
We'll
My
see you
pleasure. Nice to meet
Friday.
your students.
Thank you so much.
Okay, cool. See ya.